Before then, local campaigning in the general election restarted today following Monday's terrible attack in Manchester. Tomorrow, national campaigning will also resume.
Yes, one of the most contentious issues will be immigration, and the main political parties have set out very different visions of a balance on immigration that's best for this country. But
you'll hear some deeply divided opinions on the streets as well, as our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball discovered along the route of Nottingham's tram.
How should we control freedom of movement? Immigration's always been contentious, but the next government's going to face some tough decisions about who this country allows to come in. Our journey begins in one of Nottinghamshire's former pit towns, and at our first stop, it's market day.
The next stop is Bulwell.
We've got to stop them coming in. My lads can't get a job. He employed 2 Poles and got rid of him.
There's not enough jobs and housing for our people to get, like, nowadays.
We've always had immigrants, foreigners that support us the way they do, and they're putting stuff back into the country.
I think it shouldn't be coming into our country at all.
It's pretty clear that a lot of voters are worried that immigration's damaging their communities, putting pressure on local services and driving down wages too. But on the other hand, employers from farms to care homes often depend on migrant workers, and many experts argue that immigrants are more likely to be paying tax than claiming money in benefits. If you want to know what they think, take the tram to Hyson Green, where at one off licence I found Ajmal, who came here from Afghanistan.
I work here full time, so I do pay tax.
You feel you're making a contribution?
By doing this, yes, I do.
Ajmal's local customers come from as far afield as Jamaica and Poland.
It's hard to get a job, basically, and I want to work. Romanians, Polish, Lithuanian, they're kind of coming and working for small change, aren't they?
They're more likely to go and look for a job than the people who are born and bred here, to be honest. You know, so live and let live, I say.
But what about younger British voters? Well, there's a place you can find some of those, just a few stops from here. That's at Nottingham Trent University, where many students are looking forward to their first general election.
People out there that aren't as lucky as what we are, they deserve to come here and are able to work in our cities and stuff like that. I think it's a good thing.
It kind of makes things a bit more interesting, I think, with different cultures together.
The way they come in needs to be controlled more security checks.
Either of you fancy going elsewhere?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I have looked at that. Yeah, I would.
You looked at Dubai?
Yeah.
And from education to the health service and the Queen's Medical Centre, many people are worried about foreign patients getting treatment here, but nursing leaders are more concerned about foreign staff.
They are keeping the National Health Service going, so without them, patient care would be affected.
Shouldn't we just give those jobs to British nurses instead?
We need foreign nurses to continue to come. They are plugging huge gaps that we've got because we haven't trained enough nurses.
So what do they think about that down the line in suburban Beeston?
We need as many outsiders coming in to do the work that unfortunately ours are not able or not capable or not willing to do.
The country is just too small physically. We're just full up.
Getting immigration right's a difficult balance, and the direction of travel, well, that all depends on who wins on polling day.
Jeremy's back in the studio. Some very strong views there, Jeremy. How typical do you think they are?
Well, they reflect what we heard more widely on both sides of the immigration debate, and a lot of people told me they could see both negatives and positives. I was struck, though, by a couple of things from people who want to see less immigration. First of all, a number of those people arrived here as immigrants themselves fairly recently. And then I spoke to one former prisoner who was struggling to get a job, who put that down not to his criminal record, but to competition from migrant workers.
And there were some immigration figures out today, weren't there? Always keenly awaited. What do they say?
Yeah, there's been a significant drop in what's known as net migration. Now, that's the difference between the numbers arriving in this country and the numbers leaving. That figure fell by 84,000 last year. Overall, though, net migration still added something like 250,000 people to this country's population.
OK, Jeremy Ball, thank you.